Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are at the St. Louis Four-School Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Sibel Racim. I'll be your facilitator for today's session. I am super excited to get started because we have some absolutely amazing institutions here to tell you a little bit about themselves. Now, I will say this is just an appetizer. So you're going to hear a little bit of each and every single one of these institutions here at this session, but it is your job to ask those questions and do a deeper dive with any of the information that they give you. We only have about 45 minutes on the clock. So obviously this is going to be a fast session, but it's going to be a fun one. So a couple things before we get started. You're going to want to ask those questions and we absolutely encourage it. But you're going to ask the questions through the Q&A button. That Q&A button is located in your Zoom toolbar. So use that Q&A button to type your questions to the presenters at any time. I stress at any time. Do not wait until the last minute because we will not have a live Q&A with attendee questions at the end. So it's extremely important that you ask those questions throughout the presentation and not at the end. Also, please do us a favor and go ahead and put the institution's name within the question, just so we all know who the question goes to. You are muted and your video is turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. And so that is why it's extremely important to use that Q&A at any point in time throughout the entire virtual college fair. Also, fun fact, you may see some notifications pop up in your chat. Although you cannot interact with what is popping up in the chat, you can actually check it out because our presenters and panelists could be putting some links or contact information that they want you to check out. So go ahead and check that chat out occasionally throughout the session. Two more things. Sign up for more sessions. This is one out of many college presentations that we offer. So sign up for a session in that next time slot so you can check out more schools. And last but not least, if you'd like to relive the fun with us, or maybe mom missed out on today's session, or a friend of yours wants to check out these schools too, well, guess what? They can do that by watching that recording that'll be available within the next few business days at strivescan.com/St. Louis for school. With that said, I would love to get started at this point. I invite Colorado College. You're up first.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I hope you can see my screen. My name's Jenna Holt. I'm an Assistant Director of Admission here at CC, and I am the Territory Rep for Missouri. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. My email's right there, or you can put them as the chat, as Sibel just said. Let's get started with a little bit about our location. Colorado College is located in Colorado Springs, just an hour and a half south of beautiful Denver. We've got about 2,200 students here on campus. We are fully carbon neutral. This is Tut Library right here. It was the first carbon neutral library in the nation. And right behind us, we have the beautiful Rocky Mountains. And in front of that, you can see in that photo of Garden of the Gods. Absolutely a beautiful national treasure. I recommend when we open back up for admission visits, you come check us out and you go visit there as well. And our campus is only 15 minutes from downtown Colorado Springs, walking. So you can always get out and get some ice cream or go have a little bit of fun off campus. Let's talk about what makes CC different from the other amazing schools you're going to hear from today. So first of all, we have a very high retention rate. Students keep coming back for more. We have a low student to faculty ratio, 10-to-1, which means our class size is also very small. Average is 16, max you'll ever have is 24, unless you have 2 professors in the class. And speaking of our professors, they're very talented, very engaged and knowledgeable. 94% have the terminal degree for their field, whether that's MD, JD, PhD, etc. Know that you will be taught by someone really smart. And we have no TAs at CC, so you're definitely going to have a professor teaching you. And a little bit more about our academics. We have over 80 majors and minors. Our top 4 most popular majors are environmental science, poli-sci, econ, and biology. We're definitely big on environmental science. And we also have some pre-professional programs. So if you're interested in going to med school or dentistry or law school, anything like that, we have programs to assist our students. And of course, we have a couple of general education requirements that every student is going to have to take, but these are definitely something you can learn about later in the process. Let's talk more though in depth about our block plan, right? Because that's what we're known for. We're one of only 2 schools in the nation that has this funky little schedule we call the block plan. Essentially, the block plan works whereas instead of taking, 4 classes throughout the semester, maybe 1 hour 2 or 3 times a week, at CC you take 1 block. That's what we call a class, one block for 3.5 weeks, 3 hours a day. So Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, Monday to Wednesday. Don't worry, no class on the weekends. Typically 9 a.m. to noon, but that can depend and vary based on your class. And you're really able to dive into the subject matter here, right? Because you're not focused on other classes. You're not worried about your English paper being due tomorrow. You're not freaking out that you have chem lab in the morning. You only have that one class. So you can really focus in and get a semester's worth of knowledge in a 3.5 week class. And between each class, you will notice we have these things called block breaks, where this is 4.5 days, no academic requirements. You can go explore the beautiful Rocky Mountains. You can hang out at home and take long naps on the quad. You can do whatever you want. This is your time to rest and relax before your next class. And the best thing about the block plan is that it allows for some flexibility with your schedule. If you want to go abroad for 1 block or 2 blocks or a semester or a year, we can make that happen on the block plan. That's a really magical part of Colorado College, the flexibility that we allow you with your schedule, right? You can take your Russian block abroad freshman year and come back and jump right into Asian American Studies in the year with psychology, just an example. But that and the ability to get off campus with field study, right? Being able to take your Asian American class and go somewhere, right, that makes more sense, where you can learn more about that material, is really what we're all about here at CC. Moving on to the application and admission process, it's going to be very similar to some of the other small liberal arts colleges that you'll hear about tonight. We accept Common App, Questbridge, or Coalition App. We have a holistic review, so all of the things you see on this list are considered equally important. Academics is definitely going to be something that we really encourage you to do well in school and get those great grades and take some core classes. And then we are test optional as of pre-COVID, and we will continue to be so for long after. And we do have one supplemental essay. That's the YCC essay. It's about 150 words, so very, very short. You just have to tell us what you think you would bring to our community, why you'd be a great fit for CC, and what CC can give to you. And then we hope that you're staying involved in some, sports or leadership or clubs as COVID permits. And we do require 2 letters of recommendation from core subject teachers. And we have an interview that is recommended, though not required. And I'm going to slide through this quickly just so you can see a couple of our stats. The basic thing you should learn from this slide is the earlier you apply, the better, right? Early action is the name of the game, unless you are considering that you want to go binding with admission at CC. And in that case, I would recommend early decision 1 or 2. And last but not least, financial aid. We want to make CC affordable for every single family. So please don't hesitate to apply just based on our sticker price. Do your research, check out the net price calculator on our website and see what your package would be, right? Your financial aid package would include a combination of grants, which is money you don't pay back. And that's going to be the majority of your financial aid package, a little bit of loans, and a little bit less of work study. So all in all, we are very affordable. We hope that you apply to Colorado College. Please put any questions in the chat, and I think I'm out of time.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Colorado College, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have University of Denver.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Gross. I'm the Midwest Regional Director for University of Denver, but I'm based in Illinois. And I'm filling in for my colleague Wahab Carter today, who is on paternity leave. They are having a baby. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about the University of Denver. It's a very short time, so let me see what I can get in for you. We're a medium-sized school, we're private, and we're a national liberal arts university dedicated to the public good. We're located in Denver, Colorado, and that's about a 2.5-hour flight from the St. Louis area. You're looking at the University of Denver being located 8 miles south of downtown Denver. It's the #2 tech city in the US, one of the top cities for young adults, one of the healthiest cities in the US, and it also has all the government agencies located there. The Rocky Mountains is our own backyard. Over 70% of DU students complete an internship. So having such a robust city contributes to our students' opportunities to participate in these internships, not only in Denver, but also worldwide. In 2020, US News and World Report ranked DU 80th among national universities. Denver itself boasts over 300 days of sunshine a year. When it snows in Denver, it typically melts by noon or 1 o'clock, which is the oddest thing for us Midwesterners. And there's low humidity because of the altitude, so there aren't any mosquitoes and very few bugs, almost always a good hair day. We have about 13,000 total students, including our graduate students that have PhDs, master's programs. But when you're looking at it, we're focusing on undergraduates. That's about 5,700 students, which means we have a 12-to-1 student faculty ratio with an average class size of 23. And 99.9% of our classes are taught by professors. DU itself is a medium-sized school with small school attributes. And we're also a Division I, NCAA Division I school. We have sports, including things like lacrosse and hockey, skiing, and also our new women's triathlete program. 29% of our students are from the state of Colorado. So that means most of our students are out of state. And nearly 20% of last year's newly enrolled first-year students were from the Midwest. Freshmen and sophomores do live on campus and they're guaranteed housing. Campus itself is a walkable 150 acres. So DU is residential with a little bit of urban flair. If Chipotle is a requirement, the first one is 3 blocks off campus, the first one ever built. And our students get around the whole Denver metropolitan area for free, utilizing the light rail and the bus system. That even includes trips out to the airport. When you're looking at DU, we offer over 100 different academic programs. Business happens to be our largest program. We offer 5 new 4+1 undergrad-grad programs through our Daniels College of Business. Those include things like finance, business analytics, management, marketing, and even real estate in the built environment. Our next largest major is going to be the biological sciences, including things like ecology, biodiversity, pre-med, sustainability, and a new major in physiology in health and disease, and a new minor in health science systems. Engineering and computer science includes one of the oldest gaming programs in the US, and our international studies program is ranked 6th in the world. It includes areas like public policy, diplomacy, homeland security, and not-for-profit. The Lamont School of Music offers over 300 performances even during a pandemic, and jazz is one of its fortes. And they just announced a new minor in ethnomusicology, which is an opportunity to study music in and as culture. I would like to round out the remaining top majors with psychology, communications, journalism, media studies, and we're also one of 16 universities that offers a 6-year law program. In 2019, our graduates, 90% of them were employed or enrolled in that next level of education within 6 months of graduation. There are 3 areas I think that make DU really unique. One is the quarter system. Our students take 3 out of 4 quarters, with summer being optional. We have 10 weeks long per quarter and a 6-week winter break from Thanksgiving until January 4th. Students take 4 to 5 classes each quarter, which means they're taking 12 to 18 classes for the year. This is 30% more classes than students would take on a semester system, which is great for students coming in undecided or undeclared, which is about 1/3 of our students, or also complementing your major once you decide with what you want to go and what you want to major in. So it's not uncommon for our students to have multiples where they have double majors, majors and double minors, or majors, minors, and concentrations. Over 200 of our undergraduates participate in some sort of research every year. And one of the opportunities includes our Partners in Scholarship program. Undergrads present a proposal to faculty. They receive funding to do their work on their project for the year. They have a faculty who's assisting them. But not only are they funded, they're going to present their findings at a symposium, and they're going to publish their findings all at the undergraduate level. You also have study abroad. All schools have study abroad programs, but we're pretty unique in the sense that ours is not a consortium program. Ours is the Sherrington Global Scholars Program. Any student that has a 3.0 GPA going into junior or senior year at the University of Denver doesn't have to pay any additional money to study abroad than what they typically pay per quarter, but they'll study abroad for a semester. So DU covers their travel and transportation, the visa, the passport, added insurance costs. So you get immersed in a culture with or without a language. You can do internships, typically leaving for your study abroad in mid-August and coming back in December. We also accept the Common App and the Pioneer application. We have been test optional for over 3 years, and we look at everything holistically. The early action deadline is November 1, and that decisions come out mid-December. Regular decision is January 15th, with decisions released in February. We are also offering merit scholarships for students that range from $10,000 to $30,000 per year, whether you apply with or without a test score. We hope to see DU on your application list, and don't forget to grab that QR code there for more information. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, University of Denver. If you have any questions for them, put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have St. John's College.
Hey everyone, my name is Rachel and I am an admissions counselor at St. John's College. I am also a recent graduate. I graduated in May of 2019. So if you do want to connect with me, I can put on my counselor hat or I can put on my alum hat or a hybrid presentation if you'd like. I can do that as well. So I'm here to talk about St. John's College. We are actually one major and we are split across two campuses. By one major, we study a great books program. We basically examine the last 2,000 years, give or take, of Western thought, and we do it through primary sources. So that means that we're not using textbooks. And so if we're reading about Plato, for example, we're reading Plato in Plato's own words. And we're having all of our classes in a discussion-based setting. So not only are we talking about the books with one another, but very often, because we're looking at primary text, we're actually seeing those authors in conversation with one another. We're seeing the evolution of ideas, and we get to see them told not through the narrative is stitched together through a modern perspective, but actually through the direct authors themselves. Everyone at St. John's studies everything. So you don't have majors or minors. And one of the most interesting consequences of that, I think, is that you don't have sort of the natural clicking or separation effect that you might have with lots of different universities where you have like the engineering majors hanging out together or the art majors. Everybody at St. John's is following the same project and working on the same curriculum. And so you kind of make these unexpected connections with people. And as you can see here, we've got 4 years of mathematics, 3 years of science, 4 years of language, ancient Greek. The Greek that we study is the iteration of Greek that allows us to translate from something like Plato, like a Platonic dialogue. Some people do Homer, but it's a little bit older. We also do music, and all 4 years we do study humanities. So our first campus, so this is Annapolis, Maryland. This is the third oldest college in the United States, if you can believe it or not. It's kind of like in the middle of DC and Baltimore. And it's also right by the Chesapeake Bay. So there's lots of sailing, there's crew, there's a lot of boat shows and stuff that happen in downtown Annapolis. And we have an annual croquet match that happens between us and the Naval Academy. It's really the one thing we can really beat the Naval Academy at. So it's sort of obligated that you have to cheer for us at that time. But it's a big event and everybody comes from all over dressed to the nines to watch the croquet match. So that's one of the views. Here's another one of our campus. As you can see, it's very inspired and very much Northeast Coast by the architecture. Fun fact, Thomas Jefferson actually visited our campus way back when. This is the Santa Fe campus, which is much newer. It was actually built in the 70s, and we've got over 300 acres of land on there. So while all the buildings are still sort of concentrated in one space, there's a lot more mountains and there's a lot more outdoor activities. So there's hiking, rock climbing, cycling, all that kind of stuff. Skiing is a big thing there in Santa Fe too. And we're also in Santa Fe, the third largest art market in the country. So I like to tell people that you can kind of like commune with Plato or commune with Socrates in the mountains. It's just a different experience in the East Coast. And the nice thing is that you actually don't have to pick between, because we do have an intercampus transfer program. So some people will start in Santa Fe, hop over to Annapolis, or vice versa, get to experience both sides of the country, but just with the same program on both. And here is just a nice stack of the books that we look at. All sorts of different translations are welcome in our space. And so you can have a look at that. Our top alumni career paths. So we got a lot of Johnnies who go into education and library sciences, law and government. Actually, since 2012, 100% of applicants from St. John's have gotten into law school. And it doesn't really surprise me that much, because you spend all 4 years articulating and defending arguments in a classroom. So we kind of breed lawyers. We also have a new financial model. And so in 2019, actually, we reduced our tuition quite a lot. And so as you can see, the new tuition amount is lower, and it's stayed at that amount for the past few years. So it's a lot more affordable and accessible to the incoming Johnnies. Just some highlights from what others say about us. Forbes magazine calls us the most rigorous college in America. Princeton Review ranks our professors the 5th best in America, and our classroom experience 5th best as well. And then the US News ranks our undergraduate education 15th best and our students 7th for studying the hardest. And then the last thing that I want to share here, this actually is a quote by Scott Buchanan, who was one of the founders of our program. And it's actually in my email signature. So if we correspond, you'll see it there too. But the quote says, "Have you persuaded yourself that there are knowledges and truths beyond your grasp, things that you simply cannot learn? Have you allowed adverse evidence to pile up and force you to conclude that you are not mathematical, not linguistic, not poetic, not scientific, not philosophical? If you have allowed this to happen, you have arbitrarily imposed limits on your intellectual freedom, and you have smothered the fires from which all other freedoms arise." And that's actually at the top of our Barbie Cannon Center building, where seniors defend their thesis, their senior thesis, and have an oral. So, and here's my contact information. I have a picture of an axolotl here, which is our unofficial mascot, and it's also a kind of creature that we study on the program. So that's who that is. But thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for St. John's College, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Carleton College.
All right, everyone, finally caught up. Can you see me and hear me now? Thumbs up.
You are good to go.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I know I'm in the middle here, so I'll do my best to keep it lively. I promise not a ton here. As you can see from the slide, my name is Adam Webster. I'm the Director of Admissions at Carleton. I've been here for a decade. I am a Carleton grad. I've done a bunch of different things, but yeah, I've set up shop here in Minnesota, and that's where I am now. So few things I think you need to know to make a better sense of Carleton, the place. Let's start here. Minnesota. First, you have many thoughts about what Minnesota might be. I'll begin by indicating that we're located in the town of Northfield, Minnesota. This is just outside the Twin Cities metro area. I'm coming to you live actually from, spoiler, Minneapolis, my home office right now. I don't get to campus too much at this exact moment, but Northfield is 45 minutes away just to the south of the city, and that's 40 minutes from the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. It's surprisingly easy to get here. For those of you in St. Louis, this is just up the river and just off the Mississippi. I actually run along it fairly often. Notably here, we're a very traditional liberal arts residential campus. That means we've got that sea of majors and minors that you see right there. About 2,000 students total enrollment. A third of our students will come from the Midwest. There are plenty from the St. Louis metro area who will look around and continue to matriculate here, but you're going to find there's a really even balance here. You'll spend a lot of your time as a student at Carleton explaining Midwestern patterns to people who are not from the Midwest at all, and that actually takes some doing. So get ready for that. I'd also say we've taken real serious stock of our history as a predominantly white institution, right? A PWI. We think about this a lot. No surprise that the most diverse cohorts in the college of history have been matriculating recently. We really spent a lot of time trying to build intentional community on our campus, and that shows up in sort of the way that students sort of assemble and cohere. A third of our students identify as BIPOC, and another 10%, upwards of 12%, depending on the year, will come from outside the country to matriculate here. Additionally, we think of diversity in many different ways, and I would say one of the key ways we've tried to measure this institutionally is along socioeconomics. We are the only school that I know of that has a sort of measured metric set by the Board of Trustees about ensuring middle income representation among our incoming cohorts. This is a highly selective institution. We want to make sure we're accessible to whoever wants to attend and sort of makes the bar of admission, regardless of your ability to afford the place. More on this in a bit. Being here means we also have the gift of space. Minnesota imparts a really strong connection to the outdoors, and you'll feel it here as well. We are flanked by an 800-acre arboretum on campus that provides 13 miles of groomed trails for people who like to run. It's an exceptional running place, but it's also a great place in the colder weather for skiing, stuff like that. If you're the sort of student who likes to center themselves in sort of connections to nature, walks after class, you will find that we offer a really soothing setup for you. It's just easy right out the door and into the arboretum space itself. I should talk a little bit about the academics here, because though I'm with schools that have alternative sort of academic calendars as well, the block plan or the quarter system, I'm here to present you with trimesters, an exciting new alternative version of what you've been talking about earlier. And that means here you take 3 classes at a time, not 4 like you might in a semester-based program. However, these 3 classes assemble over a 10-week term. And so these, basically you're being asked to juggle less, only 3 classes, but you're going to cover a semester's worth of material in only 10 weeks. So it's fair to say that Carleton has a pretty paced curriculum. And I think the experience of students is one where you sort of go from a warming up moment to like deep immersed in your homework quite quickly. And I think that sort of carries all the way through. It does mean that we have a winter break schedule, not unlike what I believe University of Denver offered up. We're out of session from just before Thanksgiving until the first week of January as well, because these 10-week blocks sort of lend themselves to that. So much of Carleton stems from this trimester calendar. The intensity of the academic experience is sort of deep focus. Also, the flexibility with off-campus studies. Just like you saw earlier, it's exceptionally easy to identify how and when you take classes that you need or want to take, when you want to take them, right? That's the joy. You're not sort of hemmed into filling a class in sequential order because, well, if I don't take this class now, I can't graduate in 4 years. That's just not a problem at Carleton. This is a place that prides itself on small, intimate, excellent learning spaces and real flexibility for the students who matriculate here as well. I'd also add that we love undecided students and students with a strong STEM inclination. More than half of our students will take a pretty heavy quantitative major here. Computer science and biology are our most popular majors on campus right now. But there's a certain joy in watching students come here and attempt to make sense of very incompatible majors and try it anyways, right? Can I study religion and chemistry in the same fields? And the answer here is, yeah, go for it. I think our people really like that. I'd also add that winter is the formidable season here. I know St. Louis, it snows. It really snows up here. I will just say this here captures the way our students use that space. They get out into it. They have fun together in it. This showed up on one of our quads a couple winters ago. Known as Snowhenge. It is actually a replica of Stonehenge itself. And that magic right there sort of captures Carleton's nerdy je ne sais quoi, I think is the right expression for that. So that I think is a good way to say that we get outside for this season. Final thing I will offer up here is we take all these 3 application platforms that you see right here, and we are a school that meets 100% of your need and covers your need all 4 years on the way in. If you've got additional questions, feel free to find me or dig up more information right here. Thank you very much for the time and good luck to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Carleton College, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. And next up, we have the University of Tulsa.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Bont, and I'm with the University of Tulsa. The University of Tulsa, or TU, is a small to mid-sized private independent research university. We're in the northeast corner of Oklahoma. From St. Louis, it's about a 1-hour direct flight or a 5.5-hour drive straight down I-44. TU is a residential campus. We're in a friendly urban setting. We have a very cool vibe, not only on campus, but in the city as well. We have a total enrollment of about 4,000 students. And TU offers the resources of a big university, such as financial resources. We have a wide variety of majors. We have opportunities for research, Greek life, and NCAA Division I athletics. But we also are combined with the support of a top-notch small private college, such as faculty mentors, a student success coach for each student, a supportive environment, and a tight-knit residential community. Fun fact, TU is the smallest school with an NCAA Division I football program. And even with our small size, we often compete in postseason bowl games, including one this year. With 3,000 undergrads, TU students have individual attention throughout their TU experience with a low student to faculty ratio and small class sizes. More than half of our students are from outside of the state of Oklahoma, with more than 200 students from the St. Louis area. And these include 1 from Burroughs, 7 from Ladue, and 8 from MICDS. Academically, TU is STEM heavy, and we have a professional and practical focus, and yet we provide students with a firm grounding in critical and creative thinking. We have a liberal arts curriculum for all students to engage in creative inquiry, historical interpretation, and scientific investigation. You'll find about 60 academic programs in many engineering disciplines, computer science, including gaming and cybersecurity, as well as the federally funded CyberCore program. We have nursing and other health fields, natural sciences, pre-med, pre-law, business, psychology, art, music, and many others. The liberal arts structure allows you the flexibility to take classes of interest to you, which may lead to your double majoring or minoring across academic disciplines. TU students are required to live on campus the first 2 years. However, most students end up living on campus all 4 years, which helps create our vibrant residential community. We have all female, all male, and co-ed options. We also have learning and learning communities for those, excuse me, who are interested. We do offer suite style options as well as on-campus apartments and townhomes and fraternity and sorority houses for those interested. We offer an all-you-can-eat dining option, a cafe in the library, and 8 food venues in the student union, including Chick-fil-A and Einstein Bagel Brothers. TU students are academically focused. They're interested in social justice and community service, and really they're engaged in TU and Tulsa communities. There are plenty of opportunities for hands-on experiences, whether it's through faculty mentored research, pro bono work for local nonprofits, community service, professional internships, or academic competitions. MADE at TU is one such program. It's an acronym for Make a Difference Engineering. It's for TU students to design and develop mobility aids, play equipment, and other adaptive devices for children with physical challenges. Pictured here is one of the Made at TU teams, and it has 2 of the kiddos for whom they made adaptability devices so they could ride their bikes even with their limb differences. The second student from the left is from St. Louis. She's a May 2020 TU graduate who attended Koryezu. TU has over 200 organizations on campus, such as student government, Greek life, as I mentioned before, LGBTQ communities, campus ministries, more than 20 multicultural organizations, music groups, professional and honor societies, and intramural sports. In addition, I mentioned earlier the NCAA Division I athletics. TU offers free admission for all TU students to all athletic events. Each new student partners with a student success coach. Those student success coaches will help them articulate their imagined future, develop goals, navigate the campus, find resources for their needs, and develop college experience and professional development roadmaps, just to help them make the most of their time at TU. From career coaches to financial wellness coaches, TU is committed to helping students maximize their success. TU's stunning 200-acre residential campus is just minutes from downtown, entertainment districts, restaurants, minor league sports venues, and shopping. With a population of just under 1 million, the city of Tulsa has a cool vibe with an Eastern sophistication, a Southern charm, and a Western spirit. Tulsa has a strong arts and music scene and was recently featured in Rolling Stone magazine as a place where, and I quote, where history, social consciousness, and barroom jamming make it one of the most fun places to visit. This was just before COVID last year. Tulsa's gathering place, pictured here, made Time magazine's list of the world's 100 greatest places of 2019 and National Geographic's list of 12 mind-bending playgrounds around the world. And it recently took first place in USA Today's Best City Park 2021, just beating out St. Louis's Forest Park, sorry to say. Forest Park took second. At TU, like the other schools here, we take a holistic approach to the application review process. And we recently announced that we will continue our test optional policy for fall 2022. And that is for admission and for scholarships. You can apply starting in July using the TU application or the Common App. We're hosting visitors. Please come and join us. And my contact information I'll put in the chat. I'm actually based here in St. Louis and Webster Groves, and I look forward to meeting you in person sometime. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for the University of Tulsa, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have the University of Colorado Boulder.
Hi there. My name is Heather Moser, and I am an Assistant Director of Admission at CU Boulder. Super excited to chat with you all today, and thank you for sticking around as I am, I believe, the last to go. I'm also regionally based, so I live in the Chicagoland region, but I also cover all sorts of states in the Midwest, including, the St. Louis area as well. So let's talk about CU Boulder. We are located in Boulder, Colorado, right at the base of the Rocky Mountains. We're about 30 minutes from Denver and then about 45 minutes from the Denver International Airport. We are a large public state institution with about 34,500 students total that are enrolled, but about 30,000 of those are going to be undergraduate students. We are considered to be the #1 college town in America, which basically means that we provide you a lot to do around the area. Things like Pearl Street Mall for restaurants, shops. We've also got hiking or skiing less than 30 minutes away at Eldora Mountain. We have one faculty member to every 18 students. So this truly does give you an opportunity to get to know your faculty during office hours or after class. Additionally, 85% of our classes have fewer than 50 students, and then 50% of our classes are 25 students or less. So as you get further on into your major, those classes get even smaller. I was on a panel today with a student who said he had 8 students in one class today. We certainly welcome innovation and definitely support this culture by encouraging our students to get involved in programs like research. We are a Tier 1 research institution, which means that students have a lot of opportunities as undergraduate students to get involved with things like our undergraduate research opportunities program, which offers funding to students to do their own research. We, as I mentioned, are considered to be the #1 college town in the US, but in addition to that, we're also considered to be the healthiest and the happiest in the nation. It's really not uncommon to see our students enjoy being active and outside and taking advantage of that 300 days of sunshine. There's truly a lot to do within the area. So let's talk a little bit about your education specifically. So we really want your academic experience to be something that you will enjoy, and we certainly encourage you to take advantage of cross-disciplinary study and ultimately find and create an education experience that is best for you. So if you find yourself having interest in 2 different areas, maybe you'll end up doing a double major or a dual degree, or perhaps adding a minor or certificate onto that primary major. You can see listed here are 7 distinct colleges, schools, and programs. I definitely don't have time to go through each of them today, but we certainly have virtual information sessions available to you on our website where we do dive really deep into these. So certainly check that out if something sparks your interest. We also have our program in Exploratory Studies, which is our undecided option for first-year students. This is a first-year only program, which gives you the opportunity to explore different areas. Maybe one kind of particular area that you want to go into, or maybe a career objective that you have, but you don't quite know how to get there. And we have really great advisors that'll help you kind of through that process and figure out what is going to be a good fit for you. And being part of this program, you still will be able to graduate in 4 years as well. So shifting gears to talk a little bit about housing and dining. So really the way that I like to transition into this is talking about balance. So your educational experience is super important, but we also want you to be able to find that balance and get involved in the things that you're super interested in as well. So being involved in our campus community and student organizations is something you're going to have a lot of opportunities to do. And I would say that residential experience is kind of like that first step in your student life experience. So we really want this to be more than a place where you're just going to live and eat, but the goal is to provide you with kind of a sense of community that can help meet both your academic goals and then help you thrive in a place that'll feel like home while creating that sense of balance. So as part of your residential experience, you may decide to be part of a residential academic program, which is going to be an opportunity for you to live with students in the same academic area as you and take classes within your residence hall. We also have living and learning communities, which are similar, but they're going to be a little bit more interest-based. We have one for undecided students. We have one for music students or gaming as well. And this will basically give you the opportunity to live amongst students that have a similar interest as you. There's also a lot of cool events, guest speakers, that sort of thing that come along with these. And then, of course, we also have the traditional residential experience as well, where you will just live in a residence hall with other first-year students. Again, that residential experience is meant to kind of provide this holistic approach to wellness and really start to support you in the services that are provided. You are only required to live on campus in your first year, and then after that, students will live off campus. So I've mentioned, we are certainly a desirable place to go to college, and just the fact that there's so much to do around the Boulder area. So listed here, you can see we've got skiing less than 30 minutes away. We also have, some of those larger ski resorts like Winter Park and Vail. Those will be between 90 minutes to 2-hour drive, depending on the day, the traffic, and so on. So that's certainly something that's not too far out of reach. Chautauqua Park gives you access to hundreds of hiking trails that lead all the way up into the Flatirons. There's a beautiful creek path. We're also a super bikeable campus, so you certainly should feel empowered to bring your bike or something with wheels like a longboard or skateboard. There's El Dorado Canyon, Farrenfield, and then the Boulder Reservoir, which is going to be a body of water. One last thing that I want to mention, sorry, I'm trying to scroll here, is just our application deadline. So when you're looking at your first year application deadlines, we have November 15th, which is going to be early action. You certainly are able to apply through early action. And then we also have January 15th as our regular decision deadline. Really important that you just have all of your documents in by January 15th so that you are not a late applicant. But thank you so much. And I will provide my contact information in the chat if y'all have additional questions for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for University of Colorado Boulder, this is definitely the time to quickly put it in the chat as we are towards the end of our session. And at this point, I would love if my panelists and presenters could go ahead and join me. That'd be awesome. Thank you, everybody. All right, everyone can see my purple screen. Awesome. Well, I just want to thank our panelists and presenters for being here and sharing some absolutely amazing information about your institutions. I think it's extremely important that we all know that you all have so much more to share, obviously, but it is definitely a short period of time. So remember, attendees, this is, again, just an appetizer. So take that information in the chat, contact info, or the links that they're sending you, and go ahead and do a deeper dive into these institutions to see if you are definitely interested. Also, my attendees, thank you for joining. This is definitely one of the many important steps that you're taking in the college search process. So we really appreciate you being here. A couple quick things before you leave, my attendees. After you close this window, a really quick 4-question survey will appear. We really appreciate the feedback. So go ahead and take that quick couple seconds to take your time and fill out that survey. Also sign up for more sessions, lots more college presentations coming up for the next few sessions coming up. And also remember, if you want to relive the fun with us, or maybe someone missed out on some of this information, a recording will be available at strivescan.com/St. Louis for school. With that said, thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Good luck.